Hey folks, welcome to the Unit 5 Lesson 4 I do. So this is cause and effect, and you will be writing your own cause and effect piece today. So our learning goals is to be able to research and cite evidence to answer an academic question, and to construct an informative text to examine a topic. Right? Seems pretty straightforward because that's exactly what we're doing. Alright, so the first thing you have to do is, when you're writing, you have a process, right? And the first part of the process is to break down the question. Then you're going to research the answer, which we've already talked about in Lesson 3. And then you're going to plan the paper, which we talked about last week, using the charts, the cause and effect charts. And then you're just going to write the paper. You've already been writing things like this, so this shouldn't be too hard. We're just going to sort of expand on what you already know how to do. Alright, so that first thing we're doing is we're going to break down the question. So if our question is, why are Armenia and Azerbaijan fighting? How might we break down that question into its main components? Okay, what do you think? Right, so if we put something like, let's see, we want to know that something about Armenia, Azerbaijan, and conflict, right? Those are sort of our key words to figure out. And we've already sort of, we've been looking at this topic a lot, so we probably already know quite a bit about this topic. We still have to do research. We still have to learn some research. So I found this article earlier, New York Times, about the war in Armenia. It's actually called The Roots of War, or why Armenia and Azerbaijan are fighting, sort of. So it's like just a perfect article. It's also from the New York Times. So remember, we need to evaluate our sources, right? Because we need to check them for bias. We need to check them for facts, right? And so when I look at my chart, I find the New York Times is right here, right in our square. It's a little bit left, but it's mostly neutral, so that's good. It's towards the top. It's in our green. It's mostly fact reporting, right? It's right on that line. We're doing great with the New York Times piece, right? So let's research, right? So we're going to look for different pieces of information that answer this question. So just got the first sort of 3 or 4 paragraphs here. We look through them. We can see, where it says, they avoided talking about different things. Things changed suddenly. Okay, so but things that changed suddenly. But that changed suddenly this spring when Armenia's populist prime minister declared the area indisputably Armenian. Alright, so they're avoiding flaming passions, but that changed. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it right here on our research as a piece of evidence, right? Right here. I might have to shrink that down just so we can fit all the pieces of evidence in there. Right? Let's see. The Azerbaijanis, who lost a bitter, unresolved war with Armenia over the region in 1990. The march-by Prince. Okay, so that's another one. One side already lost a war to them, right? Alright, what else? Let's see here. Even more infuriating, it was delivered in Shusha, a city that Azerbaijanis regarded as their cultural capital, but lies in the territory. Lost during the war. Let's see, the two countries returned to all-out war a month ago, with Azerbaijan determined to retake roughly 13% of its land. The fighting threatens to draw in Turkey on the Azerbaijan side and Russia. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to take this piece, I think. I like this piece, where it says, even more infuriating, it was delivered to Shusha, a city. I think that one is more cause and effect, right? It infuriated Azerbaijanis when the Prime Minister said that, right? And so that's a little more cause and effect for us, right? So remember, we're always looking for cause and effect, right? Effect, inflamed passions. Why? He said that the area was indisputably Armenian, right? why are they fighting? Because Azerbaijani also lost a war in that region to Armenia, right? And then even more infuriating, it was delivered in Shusha, a city that Azerbaijanis regard, right? So it's all cause and effect, cause and effect. Remember, we're always looking for that. So then our next thing is to organize. So we have to take that information and we need to put it into a chart, right? We're going to put it into a chart. So if I take this, this is sort of the cause, right? This is the cause. And I'm going to put that right here in cause 1, right? And what did it do? It inflamed passions. I'm just going to type that one out, right? Inflamed passions that had been avoided, right? That's the effect. Then I'm going to do this one. So let's see, what's the full thing there? Oh, it landed with explosive force. So the remark landed with explosive force. We want to make sure we get all of it. I messed up, didn't get all of it. That's why I was confused. So I didn't have the effect in there. Now I do. Awesome. Alright, and then our third one. It was delivered in Shusha, a city that had regarded the cultural capital during the war. Alright, perfect. Alright, so that is our final cause. Right, and our effect was it infuriated Azerbaijanis, right? I can't spell infuriated apparently. Now you'll notice on this chart we have an extra thing called the source, right? So if I'd gotten this from 2 or 3 different sources, I would list those sources here. I only got it from 1, so I know I'm just gonna copy this out and put it here. Actually, I'm gonna take this, put it here, right? And I'm gonna make it a little smaller. I don't need the photographer. Alright, remember you want to get that date. And then I know it's the New York Times. Right, so I'm gonna copy that to all 3. Boom, done, organized, great. So, what is our last step? We broke it down, we researched the answer, we planned out our paper, now we just have to write the paper. So, writing it out, is a bit of a process. So you're going to introduce with thesis, 2 sentences including the thesis statement. You're going to have a body paragraph with the RACES method, shows one cause and effect, another body paragraph shows another cause and effect, and then a summary. So what does that all look like, right? So what I'm going to do for the writing, my first thing is I'm going to take this question, just like in a RACES method, and I'm going to turn it into a statement, right? I'm going to recite that question. So I'm going to say, Azerbaijan and Armenia are fighting, right? Because, and now, because I have several reasons, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to... Of several reasons. Most of my reasons hinge around this statement the Prime Minister made. So that's what I'm going to make my thesis statement, right? I'm going to say, mostly, the fighting started after the Armenian Prime Minister said that a region in Azerbaijan was Armenia, right? And so now I have my introduction, right? My introduction. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write 2 races, methods, paragraphs, body paragraphs. Now, we've done this a lot, so you should already know how to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that this time because you should already know. Okay, if you don't know, go back through lesson 3 because we just did it. But the thing you have to do this time is you don't have a question. You have to turn it into, you have to create your own questions, right? So you're going to look at this evidence and you're going to pick like the strongest 2 pieces. Then you're going to turn each one of them into a question for your paragraphs, right? So, so right here, but that changed suddenly this spring. Armenia's popular prime minister declared. Okay, so I like that, right? So that's directly part of my thesis, the prime minister's statement. So what question can I come up with? I'm going to say something like, why the sudden change, right? Why the sudden change? That's a perfectly good question that I can now write a races paragraph answering. Right? And that's what you're going to do. You're going to write out that paragraph. Now I'm going to come here, I'm going to look at another piece of information, right? You know, I don't necessarily like this one as much. It's not as directly related. This one is much more directly related. Like, it's still much about it. So I might say something like, why is Shusha important? Let me go with Shusha, right? Shusha, right. And then you're gonna write another races paragraph to answer, right? And then finally, remember that last step, we're gonna do a conclusion, right? And you're just gonna summarize and restate the thesis, right? So I would say something like, it is clear that the Prime Minister's remarks in Shusha were incendiary to the Azerbaijanis, right? And then I'm going to reset my statement. This is why the fighting in the area has started again, right? Simple. Alright, awesome. So that is, what you're going to do for writing your paper. Move on to the WeDo so you can practice some of these skills before you actually go in and write your own thing. And notice that, like, you're writing 2 paragraphs, 2 full paragraphs. Those are 4 to 5 sentences each, and you're writing 2 sentences here and 2 sentences here. Not that much to do for this WeDo here, okay? So get on it. Again, move on to the WeDo first so you can practice, and then you can do the WeDo. Awesome job. Thanks, folks.